Well, welcome back to Camus Classics. We are finally getting back to doing our videos, but we do need to explain a few things. We do have the 66 Mustang here. We are working on that, but that one's kind of as my brother's around and he's using it as learning experience. It's his car, so we'll do what he wants. And so we're kind of working on that. Under the cover of the Firebird. Bad news on that. It got the name of fire. We actually did catch it on fire under the hood. The fuel line was leaking and it caught fire. So it's out of commission probably till next year. It's a funding issue. We could get it back up and running pretty easily, but I'm going to take that opportunity now to rise it from the ashes, to do a few things that I've been wanting to do with it anyway. That was kind of just, maybe I'll get to this one day. Well, now that day's here. But it just takes a little bit of money, some of the stuff I want to do. So that one's going to be, you'll probably see it next year. We still have a little bit of work to do on the Oldsmobile 442. We did take it to a car show. We do still just have a couple things to button up on it. We're going to be putting power steering in it. We didn't do that originally. We should have, we didn't. We're going to put power steering in it. We still got a few things like setting the speedometer and a few things like that. Just working out the bugs. Again, that was a full frame off restoration, so you're going to have a few little things that you got to take care of in that. But one of the big things we've got is we've been working on these old cars so long, we've been neglecting a lot of maintenance on the personal vehicles. So today what we got for you, 97 Dodge Ram 1500. We're lucky the wheel didn't fall off because the bearings have been going out in it for a little bit. We don't drive it very far. It's kind of just run to town and back. So a couple miles, but it's been getting bad. So we're gonna get that taken care of. Dad took care of one side already. We'll show you how to do the other side. And then we got just some other stuff. We're gonna do a fuel pump on our fuel filter on the Ram. Just a few things we got to do. Trailers. We haven't done the bearings in our trailers for a while, so we need to do that. We just been neglecting a lot of our maintenance items working on these old cars. So we're gonna bring you along to do a lot of the maintenance stuff that we've been missing, and then we're hoping. We did get a crate engine for this. We're waiting on that. It's supposed to be here in a couple weeks, hopefully. But as soon as we get that, we want to get it put in and the transmission stuff put in, just so we can see, if we have to do any body work to make things fit before we go hardcore on it to get it ready for paint. But once we get the engine so we can do that, we'll get that ready for paint. Well, hopefully we can get it painted this year, but we'll see. So I'm going to grab the camera. Dad's been filming, and I'll let him run it, and he'll do the rest.
Okay, as you can see, I never raised the truck clear up. I just got it to where I'm kind of got to that age where I like to sit down to do my work, so I've got it so I can do that. We got to take the wheel off. That'll take just a minute.
You can see this is a kind of our farm work truck. See at least 3 different style of lug nuts on there.
As you can see, it's pretty rusty. It's pretty bad shape in here and what have you. I done the other side earlier today, and it's a job. Getting these broke free and what have you, but it's easy to do. It's not that hard, but it's just with all this old rusted stuff, it's just one of those things that you just have to work at. So
okay, so we got to remove the brake caliper and brakes. You've seen that in some of our other videos. We'll go ahead and get that done and come back to you. Okay, so we got the rotor and brake caliper off, so here's what we got to do.
We're pulling this cotter pin out of this castle nut that holds the front end on here on stuff. We got it out. Now we need to pull this nut off. We'll use our impact wrench on this. No need of having to fight it too much. 1 3/4 inch socket, so it's, you got to have a pretty good size socket to Okay, that's got the nut, the cotter pin nut. Now there's a washer in here. I'll pull it out. Now if you can kind of look back here, there's only 3 bolts, and they're 12-point sockets you got to have. There's one up here and 2 down there. And so you got to pull them off, pull this off. And so we've got to, if it's like the other side, you're kind of a bear cat. Once they break free, they're not bad, but to get them to break free,
so that spindle that's coming through there is for the 4-wheel drive system. This has electronic hubs. So what it does is it locks the axles in. So you have to remove that axles to pull off the bearings.
Well, I'll show you a little trick what I had to do on the other side. I got myself a breaker bar, because it's a 9/16 socket. I ended up getting me a cheater pipe and put on this. And once you break them free, they're not too bad. Of course, you got to figure they've been on here for 27 years, so I guess that, and
28 years.
28 years, whatever.
And 140,000 miles.
But the other thing is that they're in this salty conditions in Utah. Okay, that's got that one broken. I might have to have Cooper help me just here a little bit. Can you push down on that pipe, Coop?
Okay, so we'll get these broke free and come back to you in just a minute. Okay, so taking the last bolt out. Did take a lot of effort to get them to break free, but once they're broken free, they're easy enough. As you can see, this one here, the top one, it kind of hits into the ball joint, so we can just stay in. Just has to be free out of this hub.
Okay, here's what you've got. There's a bolt like this right here, and I'm going to show you a little secret how to get these. You could hook onto this and try and pull it, but when I pulled the one earlier today, I just pulled the bearing right apart, but I didn't get the whole main bearing out of there. So I'm going to put this back in and get about 3 or 4 or 5 threads on it. I'm going to put this other one back in, do the same, get 4 or 5 threads on it, then I'll show you. Okay, so by doing that, then that's got that out there. Here's an air hammer, okay, and it's got this special tool, and see it's set up just like for an air hammer, and yet this will slide right over the head of that bolt, but it won't ruin the head. So we're gonna see if we can hammer that out. I'll probably have to turn this wheel a little bit. I'm going to put it right, you may have to come on this other side. I'm going to put it right on the head of that bolt. You kind of have to work these back and forth. See how loose that is now? Now if I take these bolts out of here, okay, we got our bolts out. We've hammered that out far enough. Take them off. And there's your wheel bearing, main bearing deal on your front end.
So that is a full bearing. 4-wheel drive system. 2-wheel drive system doesn't have that. It's 2 separate bearings that you can just pull apart like a trailer axle. But this is a one big single bearing. You'll get a new hub and everything like that with it. So it's a nice unit to replace. The other one was squeaking so bad you could actually hear grinding. So,
and if you can see in here, this kind of rusty in here. So I've got just a scratch pad, and I'm gonna, if I had some emery cloth, it would probably be the best, but I don't have any emery cloth, so. But get this, it don't have to be perfectly shiny clean, but get it so that this other one will slide in easier.
Since it's a 4-wheel drive system, now is a good time. We already did it, but it's a good time to check. So you have in this joint, there's a U-joint. Now that it's somewhat free, you can move it around, listen for any clanging if it's loose, tight, but it's good. So, but it's a good idea to check that while you have it apart, because now's the time to change it if it needs it.
Okay, watch your eyes. that out. I'll grab the new one.
I'm going to show you while he's grabbing the new one, the other side. So as you can see, it kind of blew apart.
That is very tight.
It's chewing into it a little bit. You can see this bearing fell apart. And the little, they're not exactly all the way around, so he's got the new one over here. Okay, here's the new one.
Shiny, but I'll tell you a little secret on this stuff here. When we knew our wheel bearings was going bad on it, on the front wheel bearings on this was going bad, we got a hold of a parts place here close to home, and I'm not going to tell you what the name of the place was, but anyway, we went to two different places. One had it and had one of these, and they wanted $104, and we could have picked it up right then. And the other one was 20 miles away, and they didn't have one, but they could have one in 4 or 5 hours, and it was $92. When we got on the internet and we bought two of these, because they take the same on both sides, we bought two of these, and with the shipping and everything, it come to $102. So, you know, if you're not in a hurry or it's an emergency or anything like that, check around. You can save yourself a little bit of money and probably get just as good a product. This says it's one of the original ones, so it's got to be okay.
So we do get a lot of stuff. I'll name the name, rockauto.com. We do get a lot of stuff from them, but they usually have a good deal. Now, and like Dad said, if you need it, you need it. You have to get it. But if you don't need it immediately, then shop around. Rock Auto is a great place to get good quality parts. The only problem I've ever had with them is the shipping can kind of be expensive, but other than that, it's all good. We'll get this ready to put back together and come back to you. Okay, his Dad's got the dust shield back on. He's putting the part back on.
And the thing of it is, the new part slid right in there. No fighting to it. Now all I got to do is start these bolts on here. I got to turn this just a little bit to get this bolt in.
Get your top one started?
Yep. You could get the two bottom ones, I could probably get a impact wrench on it and do it with the air, but this one in the center here, it's got too much stuff behind it. But it's not bad when you can get a ratchet in there.
So the one thing you do want to watch for is make sure it's going in even. If you get it kind of cockeyed, it may not pull in. We're kind of using the bolts to finish pulling it in. It went in pretty easy, but to finish pulling in with the bolts, you just want to make sure it pulls in evenly. And as Dad said, we could have got one of these. Only the passenger side was bad. So we could have got one and replaced that, but it's a good idea to do both sides. Like I said, this truck's 28 years old. It's a 97. So 28 years of rust and moisture and in the bearings. They're a sealed bearing. They're not serviceable. You can't pull them apart and fix them. You just have to replace them. But where one's gone, the other one's probably not too far behind, so it's a good idea to do both, as well as you're not going to run into any weird steering issues where say one side's a little worn out and the other side's not. And so it's a good idea to change them both, but Dad's making sure he's pulling these in evenly.
Good and tight. I got them good and tight. Okay, that's got that part back on.
So from experience, I can tell you this one's a little bit different. I did a 2002. It was a little harder. There's 4 bolts in it, and they're recessed in closer. It's a little harder, and with those, you do want to make sure, because they use the half shaft axles, and usually when your hub bearings go, those axles aren't far behind them. This one's a little bit different. It uses a more solid axle slid into the axle housing, so it's a little bit better that way. But if you're doing one of the newer ones, I think it's 2002 and up, then you want to make sure before you do much that you're not going to need axle shafts too, because you may as well get all the parts at the same time.
Okay, one thing you might want to consider, this is an anti-seize lubricant. You can buy, it's made by Permatex. You can buy it at parts stores or wherever. I'm just going to put a little on there just for that purpose. So I don't foresee having to ever take this apart in my lifetime, but maybe Cooper will have to take it apart, so we'll put some of that on there.
It's always good to make you look like a Silver Tin Man.
Go back to our impact wrench. Again, 1 3/4 socket. Make sure you put it on forward, not backward. Now we gotta find our hole. I'm gonna have to
It's through the side, won't it?
Huh?
It's through the side, isn't it?
Too tight.
You said it's through the side. Oh, there it is.
It's right here on top. And we got the original car, or we got the old Carter pin. It's still not in too bad a shape, so we'll put it back in. Bend it up so it don't fall out. Now, we decided while we was gonna have to tear this apart, we decided that we're gonna put us some new brake shoes on this while we're doing it, because knew he's gonna have to take this off, so. Got the old brake shoes here. And before I took this completely off, I took a screwdriver and pried down in here to get this to suck in. This is what pushes out and sets your brakes. And if you don't push it back in, the new brake shoes won't fit over the what the heck? This
Rotor.
rotor.
So I'm gonna replace the brake shoes, put the rotor back on. It's in good shape. Put the tire back on, and we'll be good to go with this. So that's how you change out the bearings hub assembly on a 97 Ram 1500. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.